around with me.
Hello and welcome to Agents of S.I.P. You're watching Pixel Scandal, and this is a paper scandal actual play. The year is 1934, and all along the sunny avenues of Washington D.C., on the glamorous streets of Hollywood, across dusty Midwest farms, and in the misty swamps of Florida, America needs you. A quiet war rages. Without declaration or fanfare, most Americans don't even know the enemy has taken up arms. Unknown forces tug at our politicians' strings and unleash agents of destruction into our cities. Grab your pistol, because the dust storms of the Great Depression aren't the only thing stirring up trouble in America.
Thank you, Kurt. Hello and welcome to Agents of S.I.P. I am Gigett. I will be GMing this game. Kurt will be doing our recaps and intros to the show.
We promise that will not happen again until
that voice.
Until the end of the episode, hopefully.
Just the beginnings, right? That's the only time we're getting the transatlantic voice.
I have a question.
Yes.
How many arms exactly have the enemies taken up?
All of them.
Oh,
all
that's
the
a
arms.
lot of arms. That's a lot of arms.
We don't even have any for ourselves?
No.
So I am Gigett. If our players are the cast of Pixel Scandal, so if you'd like, guys would like to introduce yourselves. Kurt, you want to start?
Hi, I'm Kurt. I am going to be playing Gabriel Moore. Yeah.
All right,
The
Handor.
dichotomy between the two.
Handor.
Sure. I'm Hondor, and I am going to be playing Pastor Philip Wilson. Pastor. No, I'm trying to.
We trying to do a
His
thing?
name is- yeah, I was trying to do you doing. Never mind.
Phrasing.
Yeah, don't do me.
Not on Twitch.
Micro.
We're gonna get banned.
Sorry about that.
Awesome.
Philip.
All right.
Philip Wilson. He's a pastor.
He's a pastor. All right.
He's a
cool.
pastor.
And Nightsun.
I know my face.
Night Sun, I am going to be portraying one Agent Richard Williams,
All right.
and I don't have any fanfare.
And Endo.
I'm End of Line, and I will be playing Mr. Bruce Anderson.
All
Bruce
right.
Anderson. I knew a Bruce Anderson.
And Aristes.
I'm Orestes. I'm going to be playing Barnaby Watts, the lucky blind boy.
Are you really? You didn't take blind.
You're not going blind, are you?
Ow! Yeah, I totally did. I said
We're
earlier. I was
leaving you
gonna-
behind.
I did call it earlier.
We're
No,
gonna
it's in my
throw
backstory.
you- Okay.
All right. So
Trust
jumping
me,
in here,
it's
Everybody be really
awesome.
quiet. He won't even know we left.
let's talk a little bit about what the setting is going to be. So the players are agents of the United States Bureau of Investigation. It is 1934. It's a special investigation project that was created by the Bureau to handle things normal people aren't used to dealing with. The real purpose of this project is to investigate supernatural problems, and the Supernatural Investigation Program, or S.I.P, was created to take care of the issues the Bureau was not equipped to face. So our players are agents of S.I.P, and they will be investigating supernatural problems. So we kind of introduced the names of our characters, but let's go around and talk a little bit about who your character is and maybe give a little, you don't have to necessarily read your backstory unless you really want to, but just talk a little bit about who your character is and what makes them interesting.
Well, this is Kurt again. I am playing, if you're just listening, I am playing Gabriel Moore. He was a sheriff in Beaver County, Oklahoma, until he saw, of course, something horribly horrific and in the line of duty, and he's kind of spent the last 6 months maybe in the bottle. But his brush with the supernatural definitely caught the attention of S.I.P. I don't know how yet, but we'll get to that. We'll figure it out. So he's a big ass guy. Gabriel is he's not the prettiest guy. He's sort of got he's got a nose that looks like it was broken several times.
He reminds me of I always like to call him the guys that look like bulldogs. He looks like a bulldog.
Yeah, he's got like a long face, a big pronounced jaw, sort of like a really big nose that looks like it's been like smashed flat right here. Short hair, big old dude, like 6'5", and that's Gabriel.
All right, who wants to go next? Don't all jump in at once.
Hunter, go.
Well,
Sure,
I
yeah.
figured we do it in the order that we just did our original introduction.
Okay, that's fine.
So I don't have a ton of backstory on my guy. I mean, I imagine he grew up in Missouri and had to deal with a lot of the more southern stuff that went on in Missouri in these times. And yeah, you'll never fix the light, Kurt. You'll never fix the light. And that's coming from a pastor. So anyways,
I'll never find the light. It won't happen.
Nope.
And he eventually moved to I think the East Coast to try to help with what is this 30s? So the First World War, aiding, learning to suture and whatever they call those people.
Just helping out with the
spent
Red
some time
Cross
doing that.
kind of thing.
Yeah, Red Cross
Yeah.
for sure. He definitely likes to offer as much of his time and not just standing in front of a congregation, but kind of being more active, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he's I don't know. He's just a naive old white man.
Okay. All right, Night Sun.
I am once again Agent Richard Williams. Many years ago, I was a rookie for the USBI, and upon investigating something that turned out to be the weird and reporting back, he was laughed out and forced to retire almost immediately from the USBI. But when the God damn it, the S.I.P was formed, they ended up tracking him down as the one of the few people who actually had on record some experience with this. He is a pretty straight-faced G-man in all respects.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, Endo.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, I know. This is for your blasphemy. I'm putting that into the blasphemy jar. So every time you guys say God's name in vain, as the pastor of the group,
And who gets the money?
Who gets that?
Jar.
That goes in the
It'll
Pixel
be
Scandal Fund.
There you go.
yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna get demonetized so quick.
Sorry, everyone.
I'm playing Bruce Anderson. I am the curator of the local library. I have been researching the occult and the supernatural since I was a young child, where I witnessed something that occurred that made me believe that the supernatural existed, and I've dedicated my life to researching and trying to prove the existence.
Mm-hmm. Can I throw in an asterisk just so I can?
Sure.
Because there was no reason as to why my character understood or had any
Yeah, your
encounters with
supernatural
witchcraft.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being a more Christian pastor, not necessarily Catholic pastor, but I still practiced or got into the capacity at some point of being able to do exorcisms. So that's something that's supernatural to me, even though it may be more of specific and directly related to just my religion. But that is my introduction to the spiritual.
Yeah, for sure.
Or not spiritual, but
Supernatural. Yeah.
supernatural. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Awesome. All right,
Forgot to
and
mention.
Orestes.
All right, so this is gonna be rough because I just wrote this about 5 minutes before we started streaming.
Great.
So, but hear me out. All right, so Barney is the son of Special Agent Watts of the S.I.P. His mother was attacked while Barney's father was at work, and Barney witnessed the attack, and the psychological trauma caused him to lose his sense of sight and develop a mild form of synesthesia, allowing him to experience some sounds as flashes of color. He doesn't have any memory of what happened that night, but sometimes he will, he's a rambunctious little boy. Sometimes he'll accompany his father on some missions by hiding in the back seat of the car. And his dad always knows he's there, but he takes him on some of the safer calls. But whenever his dad is out like on an actual mission, Barney will be left with Pastor Philip Wilson at the Assemblies of God Church to watch him, since there's nobody at home to babysit him anymore. That's how Barney knows Pastor Philip Wilson, namesake of the band Wilson Phillips.
Actually, I was going to say, a little known fact, I am the great-great-grandfather of one of the members of Wilson Phillips.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Obviously, totes.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of kind of giving us each a feel of who each other's characters are. So you guys all were sent the same telegram message. I will show to players, show to everyone. So I'm new to Roll20. So there we go.
Oh, God.
So,
It's all caps.
So you received a telegram. Does someone want to read the telegram aloud?
Please read it to me. I immediately closed it.
Do you want me to read it?
Well, you are blind. It would be weird if you read it.
Yeah, the guy read it to you.
I can read it.
All right, go for it.
Rendezvous with other SIP agents as mission
All right,
designation
someone else
84.
read it.
We
Stop.
promised them.
We did promise the audience no
All right.
transatlantic.
Rendezvous
Oh my
with
God,
other
how
SIP
weird,
agents
there's-
as mission
there's a-
designation 84. Stop. Report to Dodge City, Kansas. Stop. Investigate missing persons. Report. Stop. Contact Sheriff Harry Brown. Stop. Ascertain and locate persons and submit report upon completion. Attention Agent L. Grant. End.
So that is the telegram that you all received, as well as a train ticket. And so we will open with you're all sitting on the train to Dodge City, Kansas. This is where your most recent assignment told you to go. You're in a private car, so it's just the five of you. And
We're all sharing the same car?
yeah, it's a large car. It's not
We're
like
all
a tiny
agents.
car. But you're all agents, and you've met before.
They're going to
You've
spring
worked-
for cars each.
Yeah,
This is the government.
it's not a sleeping car.
Money doesn't just come from jars.
So you guys are sitting in the train car, kind of listening to the clickety-clack of the train rumbling down the track. You look out the window and you can see miles and miles of like barren, dusty, abandoned farmland. And in the distance you can see kind of a dark cloud of dirt and sand kind of rolling toward you. Nothing ominous, just a normal dirt storm kind of going on in the Midwest during 1934. So as you sit here, you start to find yourselves feeling like sharing a little bit about yourselves, and you strike up a conversation with each other about your backstory. So let's start off tonight with a mechanic in Savage Worlds called interludes. This will help us kind of flesh out some more stories about our characters, not just the quick little quippets that you guys wrote for your backstories, but maybe some interesting tidbits that you guys would like to dig into a little deeper about your characters. So interludes are a mechanic in Savage Worlds where you draw a card, and then based on the suit of the card that's drawn, you are presented with two options. Well, three, but we're gonna ignore the downtime options. So you're either going to tell a story from your backstory or tell a trek, which is usually like an adventure story. And anyone who either participates in the interludes, you guys can, as a group, like take on roles of other characters or as each other, and kind kind of play out the scene if you want. You can just tell the story as your character. It's up to you, but whoever participates in the interlude will get an extra Benny. So in Savage Worlds, you get bennies to spend to re-roll, and now in SWADE, take narrative control. You can re-roll damage. You can soak damage. So there's a lot of things you can use your bennies for. Everybody starts with 3, except for Reztees, who starts with, how many are you up to?
Damn cheater.
7.
You start with 7. So this is an opportunity to gain an extra Benny to spend during the game, or use to roll up for XP at the end of the game. So does anybody want to volunteer to kind of be our first
I can go first.
guinea pig?
Yeah, I can go first.
Awesome. I have to figure out how to pull out the deck of cards again, because I forgot.
Open the gear. Or not the gear, the macros thing. It's the one that looks like the little
Guys.
lines with dots. Collection is what it's called. And then if you click playing cards, you can click show.
I'm working on it, guys. I
What do you want? What do you want, Oasis?
I am so excited to meet Special Agent El Granite. That's Spanish for the rock. You think he'll teach me Spanish?
Granite. I don't think that's what it is.
Okay, so
but it said El Granite.
I think it's El Grant.
What?
Okay, so I'll just draw a card here.
All right.
So I got the Queen of Clubs.
all right, so clubs. So you have 2 options. You can either do a backstory or a trek. The backstory is a tale of misfortune from your hero's past, perhaps revealing something of his hindrance or a dark secret. Or you can tell a trek, a hardship that the party overcame on their trip, the tragic death of a favorite extra. So you can tell a previous story of when you guys have worked together in the past.
So it's a story of loss, right?
Yes.
Or a hardship?
Yeah.
Okay. So Gabriel, walks over to the table that, I'm sorry, Nightsun, what was your character's name again?
Richard Williams, Agent Richard Williams.
He walks over to Richard's table and sits down, pours himself a drink, and the dog really is just so sad already. He's crying already.
Let me just fix that problem.
And he
Don't kill the dog.
That's what we lost. We lost a Labrador.
Aw.
It's a shame. It's a real shame. No, so he walks over and sits down. And he has to kind of squeeze into the booth, right? Like he has to kind of squeeze in there. He's a pretty big fella, and it's not like he's fit, but he's just like really broad shoulders, and so he like has to duck down under the overhead thing, and he kind of gets in there and he pulls a flask out and pours himself a glass, and he looks you over and, did you want some? All right, and he
Tilts the cup forward and
he fills your cup and pushes it back, and so I ain't been able to forget that night. I don't know if you sleep much these days, but I swear ever since that Jeffries case, it's like a walking nightmare, you just, every time I close my eyes. But something about the train helps. It sort of brings me back. I think the last time I was on a train like this was me and my mom come out this way from Kansas. But it's something about the rhythm of it. It sort of seeps into you. Really pulls you in. It's hard to drown out the screams, but that familiar click clack, it helps a bit. And he takes like a really big pull on his whiskey, and he looks you over and says, how you sleeping these days?
I did not catch
Cut
any
out
of that.
there.
What?
You cut out there.
Oh, son of a bitch. How much did you get?
No, everything up until when you referred to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He looks at you and he's like, "How you sleeping these days?"
Oh, I have not slept since long before I met you.
That's rough. Want to talk about
But
it?
I find hunting them, trying to fix it for everyone else is at least lets me catch a couple winks now and then. That's half the reason I had them bring you in.
Yeah.
You handled yourself all right. Didn't go well for the deputy, but
I appreciate that. And so
then any luck, one day we'll get them.
yeah, we gonna find him. I'm certain of it. I mean, I guess I have to be. Tell me one of your stories. What you got? You must have something in your past you want to talk about. I don't know much about you.
So you want to draw a card?
Why not? How do? I'm sure I can figure out how to draw one card. I don't know where it went.
You handed it to me.
I put draw a card.
I'll roll 20.
Apparently, Gigett wants to steal my card from my hand. How dare you, ma'am?
Let's try this again. Let me recall all the cards. There we go.
Well, no, I got diamonds.
Oh, okay,
I got 7 of diamonds.
You got 7 of diamonds. All right, so you got your backstory option is something your hero wants or already has. It might be a material possession, a political goal, a wish that you have. So that's a type of story you can tell, or you can tell a trek. How the group found something that helped them along the way, such as minor treasure, ammo, food, friendly locals. So you can either build upon maybe something you guys have done together in the past, or you can reveal something about your own backstory.
I don't know.
Where do you track bennies on this shit?
I was trying to figure that out myself.
I
put it in
actually
notes.
don't think there's a place for bennies.
It's oversight.
There's
Well,
no place for bennies.
There's a place to roll your bennies at the end, but there isn't a place to track how many bennies you currently have. So you'll just have to keep a running tally if you use them.
So what was it you could talk about again?
Something his hero wants or already has. It could be a material possession or a goal or something like that, or a wish. Or he can talk about something that you as a group found along the way, such as a treasure, ammo, food, oasis, friendly locals, etc. So.
Do you have a past job or something? Oh, go ahead.
No, I think I think I can bullshit something up together. Now, as I was saying, helping folk and trying to prevent that thing from happening all over again is the only thing keeping me going. But the family we all met in the last town. Damn it, I had a name and it's gone. I don't have anything.
The Fredericks?
Yeah, that was them. I'm so forgetful these days. The Fredericks, they were good folk, and they almost had a bad rap when How weird has things already been? Like, I guess my question is.
I would say that you guys have experienced unexplainable weird things, but you haven't come across necessarily specific supernatural entities.
Okay.
Or if you have, it's been like you saw it, it attacked, it got away. Maybe you guys haven't really overcome any big dangerous supernatural things yet.
Okay. Yeah, it was super weird for all those wolves to come out into the town and attack the Fredericks, but they seemed driven by something. But, just a little show of force, and we were able to drive them off, and I think we'll be welcome there at any time, and that's what keeps me going.
And what city did the Fredericks live in?
Where do we come from? I thought we actually had established that.
Cotton Eye Joe.
I thought she said Chicago.
Sure, Chicago.
Chicago.
Wolves that invaded Chicago.
Well, I'm just saying that's where we're from.
No,
No,
I
yeah.
like it. It's even more weird.
It would make it even more weird that there were
Yeah,
wolves
pack
there.
of wolves that attack Chicago.
Okay.
In the sewer.
Those damn sewer wolves.
The worst.
You flush one down the
They want to
toilet.
kill you and they smell awful.
All right. So the other three of you, do any of you want to take a stab at an interlude? Come on, you know you wanna.
Sure, I'll go next.
All right. Let's draw you a card.
What was your character's name again?
All right, Queen of Hearts.
I go by Anderson, but my first name's Bruce.
All right, so you get to tell a backstory tale of your hero's greatest love, lost, found, present, or waiting you back home. Or you can tell how the party endured a hardship on a journey.
I'm so sorry, that was a lot. Can you repeat that?
So you can either tell a story about your greatest love, whether it's present, past, waiting for you back home, whatever that might be, or you can tell a story about a hardship that you guys have endured on a journey. Or maybe just you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the whole group.
Okay. So it seems like everyone's kind of down right now, and I'm not really sure why, but we did good work back there in Chicago, and I hope you all know that. Every time that we have one of these events that happens, then I feel like we've done really done good. I can't help but think about the times we didn't do so good, and it always makes me think about that kid in Boston that the preacher here tried to save, and we just weren't quite strong enough. And I feel like every time that we try and do something like trying to exercise that boy and we fail, I think about the times now where we were successful, and I feel like it has to tip the scales a little bit.
So, Pastor Phillips, how was not being able to exercise that kid on you? How was that for you? Was that hard?
Well, yeah, it's the first exorcism that has ever failed.
Because it was real.
Probably, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
And I'll say, when it
have that
failed,
discussion later.
when it failed, it was we all saw something, like it escaping, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't have failed. Well, I mean, did it?
It could have killed the killed the child.
yeah. So,
I mean, we're also building canon here, so it means demons can escape.
Yeah.
All
we
right.
gotta put.
Like we're building cannons.
I need a lot of salt.
We're
On the
building
train?
cannons.
That sounds dangerous.
It does sound dangerous.
All right. Philip or Barry, do either of you want to give an interlude a try? There's a penny in it for you.
I can try. I don't know, man. I suck at this stuff.
We'd have to roll dice at some point to use those buddies.
Well,
I
we're
could definitely
trying to
use-
flesh out some character here.
I could definitely use a 7% increase in my net Bennyworth.
I drew a King of Hearts.
King of Hearts. Okay, so a tale of your greatest
King
love,
of broken hearts.
or how the party endured a hardship.
What was the first one?
A tale of your greatest love, lost, found,
Oh, okay.
present, or waiting back home.
Let's switch this up. Let's switch this up. So we just got on talking about the failure. So I'm gonna say that up to this point, I've been pretty quiet, just listening to everybody, and how can I tie this in?
You can.
I mean, it can be some time later.
It can be anything. It can be something new. It doesn't have to be along the same train.
or
of thought.
some or
No,
like,
because I'm
it could
gonna
be-
say, No, because I'm going to have to do like my pastoral thing where I'll be like, this is the perfect time for me.
He wants to make a sermon out of it.
Oh, okay, I see.
The
Oh,
perfect
for a
opportunity
lesson.
for me to like try to like save your souls as before we do the next thing or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, give it a shot.
You know, guys, I know we hate having this conversation, and this is just incredibly difficult for us all. But I think in times of incredible difficulty, the thing that brings me strength, and the thing that I adore and I love most is my God, my Christ, my Lord Jesus. He's the one that leads me and guides me. And I feel as though it would be, I'd be remiss to not mention to you guys that this is something that God could lead me to bestow upon you the strength and wisdom and guidance that He's given to me in these times of despair, and I know some of you certainly have felt your share of despair more than others. Even some of you have mentioned not being able to sleep at night, and maybe I can, through God, I can grant you the capacity to give those demons, as it were, to God, so that you're capable of resting your eyes and getting a good night's sleep. I mean, if we can't help ourselves, and if I can't help you guys, then I mean this thing with Agents of S.I.P is gonna fail before it even starts. So I just think that's a good direction to take. Whatever you want to do with it, you know, it's up to you. But just throwing it out there.
Awesome. I like the way you took that. I think for your character, making your greatest love, you know, using your religious like background and stuff to make that part of your backstory and tying that in, I think you did a really great job with that. Good job.
Thanks.
All right, last but not least, our STs, do you want to jump in on an interlude?
I don't think so right now.
Okay,
He
that's fine.
doesn't have much of a backstory. He's just a
The
baby.
boy is full of mysteries.
Yes. Have a very mysterious backstory.
Okay.
Can't let it come out in episode 1.
Well, as you guys are spending time, you know, it's a long train ride. You're sharing stories, and you're commiserating over some of your failures, and obviously you guys are you know, sitting around and trying to work out a bit of how you fit together as a group. You know, you've kind of been shoved together several times to do missions, but that doesn't mean that you're friends or you trust each other. This is still kind of new for you guys. So spending time together and you know, kind of shooting the shit and getting to know each other is an important part of building that. And the train starts to roll into Dodge City. So the train pulls into the station, and as you kind of step off the train onto the platform, you see before you a small town that's very dusty and dirty. You can tell that the dust bowl has hit this town pretty hard, that there isn't a lot of greenery or even bushes or trees. The trees that are there look very starved for water. There's, you know, piles of dirt and dust, layers of dust and dirt on everything. Everything just kind of has this very dingy look, this sepia look to it. Mm-hmm. And this is
It's not a camera style. It's
not a camera style. Yeah, it's you kind of rub your eyes like, am I seeing this right? Yeah, it's everything's got kind of like this dirty brown tone to it. And as you kind of glance around at the buildings, you see that for every one building that's open and running, there's 2 or 3 that are either boarded up or look abandoned. So obviously, people have pulled up roots and moved out because this place was not prosperous for them. So where would you like to start?
Well, we supposed to find.
Well, what time of day is it? I guess.
It's probably late afternoon.
Okay, yeah. I'll probably head to the sheriff then.
I'm gonna.
Harry
What
Brown.
was your character's name? End of line. Agent Williams.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm gonna.
Oh no,
I'm-
that's
I'm
Night Sun.
Bruce. I go by my last name, Anderson.
Oh, that's right,
I
Anderson.
put Bruce, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, Mr. Anderson. I'm gonna stand up and get ready to head out, put one foot out the door, as it were, as the train door opens, and I'm gonna take my hat off and kind of just smack it across my hands to get the dust off, or to keep the dust off, and kind of look back into the car and say, well, boys, on Mr. Anderson's note of staying positive, despite our shortcomings, it's time to see what we're doing here in Kansas City. So let's roll out if you're ready to go. Pick your heads up, boys. That's basically what I'm saying. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm. Let's get out of here. I don't want to spend any more time in Kansas than I have to.
Fair enough. All right, grab our gear and
Okay. So you guys
start heading into town.
You guys start heading into town. There's several buildings as you're kind of walking through town towards the sheriff's office and jail, because they're the same building here.
Mm-hmm.
You pass by a general goods store. Like I said, a bunch of boarded up buildings. There's a hardware store. You pass by a cinema house, a new cinema house. And you see a lot of vagrants or hobos or, people just kind of leaned up against buildings, very dirty looking. They have, packs that they can toss all their belongings in and take off with. And they're just kind of littered about the city. So there's definitely a high vagrant hobo population in Dodge City at the moment. And there are quite a few abandoned buildings, which kind of leans itself for promoting people that live rail walking or hobo type to want to stay here, because there's empty buildings.
Squatters.
Yeah. And you did notice as you were kind of getting off the train, a couple of guys jumping out of cars, like the cargo cars farther down the train, jumping out of them before the actual railway workers could get down there. So it's a very common thing that you guys see a lot these days, are people kind of moving from place to place through on the train. So you guys come up to the jail, the sheriff's office. So who's gonna kind of take the lead, go in the building first? And
Does anyone here have a background in law enforcement or anything?
Two of us.
Yeah, I mean, I was a sheriff, but I think I let.
Yeah, I'll take point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agent Williams.
They trust their own, as they were,
Trying to
Yeah.
learn everybody's character name.
So
yes. Did I make that available so everybody can see the character sheets?
You did not.
How do I do that?
It's okay.
Okay.
It takes some time.
We will.
But we can
Fix
see
it
them on
for
the
next
bottom of
time.
the roll 20.
Oh, right, down there, okay. Okay, so as you open the front door to the sheriff's office, the front office has a couple of empty desks sitting in it. You can see it's kind of a large empty room with several desks places that look like, if they had employed several officers, there would be desks for them. But they're all sitting empty. There's a doorway at the back of the room that looks like it's probably, if you go through there, that's where the couple of jail cells might be. And then off to your right, there's a desk with a man sitting in a chair with his boots up on the desk with his hat kind of dipped down over his face, and he looks like he's probably sleeping.
I knock on a pillar as I pass by.
He kind of very slowly, with one finger, lifts up his hat so you can see one eye. Kind of looks at you. Kind of takes his boots off the desk, sits up, kind of fixes his hat.
Who are we to normal people? We obviously can't introduce ourselves as a supernatural investigation.
Right. You do have badges that do say Agents of the United States Bureau of Investigation.
Okay, so we're still
USBI.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So you do have USBI agent badges.
So we do hold some power.
Yeah. I mean, if they were to call in to the USBI to check your credentials, they
might take a few phone
probably
calls.
wouldn't be able to answer. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to immediately say, "Oh, yeah, those are our agents." But you do at least have a badge that gives you a little bit of clout.
Okay.
So he kind of sits up and fixes his hat and kind of looks at you guys with very, sleepy eyes, and he's like,
Sheriff?
"Howdy. What can I do for you gentlemen today?"
Well, I am Agent Williams from the United States Bureau of Investigation, and we've been sent here to investigate your issue with some missing persons.
You're saying you're with the Bureau?
That I am.
So now that you can kind of get a better look at him, he's got a very weathered face, he spent a lot of time out in the sun, not clean shaven at all. He's got a lot of stubble. His clothes have stains on him. He's not wearing a uniform
pants
of any kind. He has pants on, but he's not wearing a police officer's uniform or a sheriff's uniform. He's got his badge kind of haphazardly pinned to his shirt. But he's kind of a rumpled guy. And he says, "From the Bureau, huh? I mean, that's kind of quick. I just sent that report in 2 days ago."
We were in the area.
You sure you guys are here from the Bureau?
Well, you sent the report to the Bureau. Someone responds saying they are the Bureau.
You
Who
have
else would we
some
be?
kind of identification?
Badge?
He looks at it and he goes, "All right. Yeah, I sent in a missing persons report about 2 days ago. Adrian Graham went missing. So I didn't think it was something noteworthy that they were going to send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 agents out here looking for him."
I'm gonna go whisper into Agent Williams' ear, and I'm gonna ask you to get me the police report and the all the evidence and what they found so far.
I assume we could all do that, couldn't we? I don't mean to take away from your.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, we were sent. It's usually just me and Moore here, but we got a few trainees.
All right.
So if you'd be so kind to provide us with any investigation notes or reports that you have on the circumstances, we'd be happy to let you get back to your nap.
Investigation paperwork, right? That is something that we in the police force we do that. We keep good notes. And he kind of goes ruffling around his desk. He opens a drawer,
Don't worry, smart folk like you could probably remember everything that happened. You can just regale me with it. You don't need any pesky notes.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've got.
I sit down at the chair across from his and put my feet up.
I look clearly frustrated.
Yeah. You say that as he's finding like an old sandwich in his drawer, and he kind of smells it, and he's like, takes a bite.
This guy's been phoning it in for a while.
Makes a face and then puts the sandwich down. Kind of looks at you, getting comfortable, putting your feet up.
Pull out my notepad.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I mean, I've got a mind for this kind of stuff. So that's, his name is Adrian Graham. We went missing a couple days ago. I think his father said that was got to be like 3-4 days ago now. It took 2 days to send the report. Yeah. So it's been like 4 days since his father said he went missing. He was last seen leaving work. He's probably like headed home, or maybe like to the carnival, or he could be headed to the bar. That's where most people go at the end of the day. Yeah.
Didn't you say he'd been missing for about 2 days?
No, it's been 2 days since I sent the report in, but he had been missing for 2 days when I sent the report.
All right, you don't seem all that concerned about it.
Well, it's pretty standard.
It's one missing guy. Like, people have been packing up and leaving town for months now. Just one guy going missing. It's a really that big a deal.
So why the note to the bureau?
Well, it's missing person.
If it's one guy and you're pretty sure he's just in the circus and at the bar or something.
His dad owns like half the town, and he was up in here like hooting and hollering and just making a big scene about his son not coming home and how I ought to do my job, and if I didn't, he was gonna call the county, and I had to do something, so I sent the report in. You guys know how it is,
No.
When it's like a politician and they they're a little needy. They ask for more than you do for a normal citizen kind of thing.
So I interrupt his tirade, his rambling. So where exactly did he work?
He was working over there at the grocery store at Tim's Mart. His daddy bought that place a few years back, and now Adrian kind of manages the place.
And where's the family home?
Oh, it's just up the road right here. It's the big white house on the left.
Mm-hmm. And has this been, you mentioned it being common for people to just get up and leave, but people reporting missing people, is that common?
Well, you hear about the occasional hobo going missing every once in a while, like his other vagrant friends coming in all upset that Joey whatever went missing and we gotta find him or what. But they're hobos. They shouldn't be here anyway. They make the town look messy. And he kind of goes on this like long tirade about vagrants and hobos messing up his town.
I'm gonna snap my hat and just lean in just for a second and talk to this guy and say, now fella, all these men are homeless and are probably maybe causing a little bit of trouble for you and making things possibly a little more difficult. I just like to mention that, that we should all keep in mind that we're all citizens here. And if we can do whatever we can do as people to help our fellow brothers in need, that would be, much more beneficial than say, treating them like a common cockroach, I would think.
He kind of like rolls his eyes and he's like, "Yeah, okay, Father, I get it. Yeah, I know."
Sorry to interrupt. I just,
No,
I'm just saying.
yeah, God's creatures and all that. I know. But there was one other guy that might be missing, but I mean, he gets drunk and wanders off all the time, so we don't really consider him missing if he hasn't been gone for like more than a week or so. So like, that
What was the name?
And he was, yeah.
Manny West. Manny West, yeah, he's but I mean, he's gonna come back. It's like the hobos. They come, they go. Nobody filed a report about Manny, so he's probably just moved on too. Just with Adrian, like, he's got a steady job and he's got family ties, so like, people worry about things. But he was last seen leaving work. He was probably heading home. I went over and I talked to them carnies, and there wasn't anything going on over there that was unscrupulous. And I don't know. I mean, his father Eugene could probably tell you more about his worries, but it doesn't seem like a big deal to me.
Are Manny and Adrian friends?
Oh God, no. Why would the town drunk and the town pretty boy talk to each other?
Thank you.
Strange things. So is there you mentioned the bar is where everyone ends up. Is there just the one bar in town?
Yeah, I mean, do you need more than one?
Well, to keep the, you might have a favorite or might cater to a certain audience or another.
I mean, if you're looking for like some of that grain wine, like that hooch stuff that's gonna make you blind, then you head out to the hobo jungle and you go hang out with them around the fire, and you drink what they're cooking up in their bathtub or whatever. You want something a little nicer. You want yourself a beer or gin and tonic or something nicer. You head over to the bar.
All right, and the bar is? Where is it located?
You probably passed it on your way in.
Okay.
It's on the main drag.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I believe Adrian's father's trying to buy that place too. I think I heard something about a sale going on with that pretty soon. He's just buying up all the town.
What was Mr. Graham's name again?
Mr. Graham? Adrian Graham?
Adrian?
Or his daddy.
His father, yeah, the
Eugene.
one that's buying up the town. Right.
Eugene Graham.
Thank you.
See, that's why I have a notebook.
You gentlemen have any more questions?
No, I think you've done just about enough.
Yeah, like I said, there's no need to go over to that carnival and you just go talk to Adrian's daddy, and I'm sure he's gonna come back. He probably just shacking up with some woman in the next town over or something. It's not like there's any pretty girls here in town.
How often do you have a train coming out of town?
Well, there's a train that came in today.
Yes, I'm aware of that one.
And it's like every 3 days or so, 3-4 days.
So the last train was the day after he went missing?
Yeah, that's about right. About 3 days ago. Yeah.
And how long's Manny been missing?
Oh, Manny's been missing since it's probably almost about a week now.
Isn't that about time to start worrying?
I mean, like I said, there's nobody worrying about him. No one's filed a missing persons report. Should I really... I mean, do I need to go to the effort of looking for somebody that nobody's looking for?
Yes.
Well, I would say, Mister, that's precisely a reason to look for somebody. No one else would do so. I mean, it
Well,
sounds like all the reason.
now you have two people missing instead of one person. If you had investigated the first missing person, maybe you could have prevented the second.
I mean, Manny doesn't. Do I? It's. I don't know.
We get it. We get it.
I don't know. I mean, Manny's not the type of person you go looking for, right? Like that's not my problem. He starts acting very like fidgety and uncomfortable and.
Do you report to anybody?
Oh, I mean, I'm not a local police officer. Like, we come from the sheriff from the county. They don't have their own incorporated police force here in Dodge City yet.
Okay. And do you who's your boss?
Oh, well, I mean, that's, why?
I was just curious. Seems like they might want to get a couple more men down here.
I mean, there's never anything important going on here, so why send more people down here if
Mister,
nothing going
I'm
on?
going to tell you. I'm here to tell you. You've got the United. What is it? The U.S.
USBI.
Who are we? The USBI.
United States. Yeah.
Mister, I hate to break it to you, but you have the USBI here doing some pretty potentially heavy lifting. It sounds like potentially there could have been some things that could have been prevented we wouldn't.
So at that, he kind of like, you can tell that he's getting kind of angry, and he kind of stands up and he like slams his hands down on his desk and he goes, "Look, son, I did my job. I investigated what happened to Manny. Manny is nowhere to be seen. Do you see him here? Do you see him anywhere in town? No. That means he went off on one of his benders or disappeared, and that's not my problem. And I'm not going to go running off into the middle of nowhere all by myself here in this podunk town. And it's not my problem that you guys are coming into my jurisdiction trying to tell me how to do my job. The only reason you're here is because that boy's father owns half this goddamn town." And if it wasn't for them damn politicians, you wouldn't be here at all. And I do not appreciate you thinking that I have not done my due diligence as a man of the law.
All right, sir. It's my apologies.
So when he slams his hands down on the table, Gabriel sort of like stumbles a bit and like leans up against a filing cabinet, and you can see that he's going white and he's kind of sweating a bit.
You mean the pre-white sweat puke?
Well, his
pre-white
yeah.
puke?
He's blanching, like he's looking a little
Yeah,
pale.
yeah.
He's usually
Okay.
he's got like that like Italian olive skin, like like he's spent some time in the sun.
Do we know why you'd be reacting that way?
I mean, some of you may, but he just looks a little off.
That's a no for you and I think. Well, sir, I apologize. Look,
Don't apologize to him. Let's go.
you need Jesus.
And I'm going to walk out.
If you boys need anything else while you're in town, you just ask, and I will make sure you get what you need so you can get out of town as soon as possible.
Now, I'm not so entirely sure that's it. That's besides. I gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
We've got some at least places to start.
Tell me about this carnival, mister.
And are there cats?
He kind of looks
Lots
over
of
at you. It's like, it is not a kitty cat carnival. He looks over at you.
How do
and
you
goes,
know for sure?
I
Son,
think we need to investigate.
what are you doing hanging around with these gentlemen?
I told you, trainee.
You're a junior investigator?
Yes,
Was it like a Big Brother program or something?
something like that.
I mean,
We're on step one.
Is he all right in the head?
Taking notes during an investigation.
I mean, do you think it's
Yeah.
real safe to be taking a kid on
Well, you said nobody's missing, so it's perfectly safe.
That's very true. I did say that there's no one missing and everything is all right in town and there's nothing going on.
Well, which one of us is a kid? I'm curious.
Orestes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
He's 11.
right.
He's an 11-year-old kid.
Okay.
But yeah,
Valid question.
He goes, "You're right. I did say that no one is missing. There's nothing going on, and I did my job looking for clues, and there's nothing to find."
Then our job should be super easy.
Yep.
All right.
Regulators.
Backing out, heading. Where do we feel we want to start?
I would still talk to the father.
Does
Yeah, it's kind of
anybody-
where I'm leaning.
Does anybody check on Gabriel? Because he does not make a move to leave.
Well, I grab your arm and pull you up.
Oh, okay.
Whichever one of us is familiar with whatever condition you have is probably who would do it.
So when you pull him out the door, he sort of like fumbles and goes for his flask, takes a swig,
Hit a swig
like,
of blood.
wipes his face, and sorry, I got lost there for a second. I'm all right. I'll be fine. Thank you.
So I figure we should check out the father first. At least get an idea of where the son may have been or where he may have wandered off to if he's...
At least we can substantiate that idiot in there's idea that he went on a bender. We can at least speak to the kid's personality and see if that's even something
Yeah.
like.
All right, so off to the big White House on the left.
All right.
Cool.
So you guys head down the street, and as you kind of come up to the house, you can tell why the sheriff didn't need to give you any more explanation than the big house on the left. It's a large 2-story house, fits on the same size lot as probably 4 of the houses nearby. It's got large grounds, and it's obvious that the Grahams have money just by the look of the house. You can see that there's some yard working people kind of moving around in the yard, cutting grass, trimming bushes, and the such as you make your way up the walk.
The Grahams found oil.
Keep walking down the street.
Actually, yeah, we should have asked that, where their money came from.
So you keep walking down the street. You're not going to the house? Okay.
What house?
I grab the kid by the shoulder.
Oh, hey.
Hey,
Do we need to get a harness for him?
Yeah.
Barney, you okay there?
And dibs on not holding it.
Yeah, I got my stick. What? Are we here?
Yeah, listen, why don't you hang on to somebody or something?
All right. Yeah.
All right,
Find
so-
me a tomato around here. I'll hold on to her.
We're gonna find you a seeing eye polar bear cub.
All right, so approach the door.
I'm gonna attach his hand to a hobo's jacket.
Knock, 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 knock.
After you hear you hear footsteps inside, someone coming to the door, and a very motherly looking woman answers the door. She's got on an apron, and she looks like everyone's like great aunt. You know, you just want to give her a big hug. She probably smells like cookies. And she opens the door and she's like, well, hello. What can I do for you gentlemen today?
Hello, we are with the Bureau, and we are here to investigate the disappearance of one Adrian.
Oh, you're here. You're here to look for Miss Master Adrian and find out what's going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please come inside. I'm very sure that Mr. Graham will want to speak to you. Please come inside.
Well, but before, we'll join you, but we wouldn't mind asking you a few questions.
Oh, I mean, of course, I want to find Mr. Adrian very much. The house has been very quiet without him.
Well, do you know where he would have wandered off to? If he would have wandered at all?
Come inside and have a
Well,
seat.
we're walking, talking.
Yeah, she's like, come on, let me get you some tea and cookies, and she like gets everybody sat down in the parlor and scurries off to get a tray and comes back and puts it down, and she's like, I'm sorry about that hospitality and all that. Cookie? And she hands the kid a cookie.
Cookies? Thanks.
You're welcome.
As I mentioned, we are from the Bureau, and we're looking into Adrian. Is there anywhere you would guess that he may have wandered off to? Maybe a woman in his life?
Oh, no. Mr. Adrian wasn't seeing anybody. He was a hard-working man. I raised that boy since he was very little when his mama died. His father hired me to take care of him and raise him up right. And, he's a sweet boy, that Adrian. I think it's difficult coming from money. I think you have a hard time understanding what the world's really like. And so he always got these kind of fanciful ideas in his head that he was gonna have adventures and be the hero of his story. But that's not really in the cards for Adrian. He's running the store, and his father keeps a pretty tight grasp on him. So the fact that he went missing is just dreadful, and I have no idea where he would have gone to.
Well, perhaps on one of these adventures. Did he ever talk about where he might go or anything he might do to prepare that could give you the impression that might have been the direction he was headed?
Well, not so much in the last couple years. He mostly has kept his nose to the grindstone and has done what his daddy's told him to do. He does spend quite a bit of time trying to help them. Those poor unfortunate people that keep coming into town. He tries really hard to help them, and it makes his father quite angry. But I think he thinks he can save them.
So he spends his spare time over with the vagrants.
Yeah, I mean more of as an act of charity. He tries to.
Oh, no judgment
feed them
here.
and clothe them, and I mean he's a good boy, mind you. He's not doing anything.
We're just trying to find where he may have been at any given time before or after he went missing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a sweet boy, but he's not too smart.
Fair enough. Anyone else? Questions?
He didn't talk about anything special or exciting, anything right before he went missing. Maybe he met somebody new, or he didn't start dating anybody or anything like that.
I mean, he's always talking about somebody new, somebody who came in on the train that has some wild story that he wish he was a part of. He's always talking about somebody new with these weird, strange names. They're not normal names. They're like Bootstrap and just very strange. They're not names. These aren't people. But he's always talking about somebody new when we have breakfast together.
All right. And did he mention anybody specific before that last time you saw him?
I don't think so.
All right. And he didn't spend any time at the carnival neither?
Oh, I knew he wanted to go to the carnival. I just don't think he had a chance to go over there yet.
All right.
How long's the carnival been in town for?
About 2 weeks.
Okay.
So they must be getting ready to move soon then, or?
They're usually here for about a month, and then they pack up and they move on. It takes that long for their train to make the trip around again.
I hear you. All right. No, I think that's enough to go on.
Would you like me to get Mr. Graham for you?
Yes, please.
All right. Here, and hands the kid another cookie.
Thanks.
When she leaves the room, I'll turn and say, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to go down and check out that Hooverville. There's he's definitely spending a lot of time there, and maybe somebody's seen something.
All right, so
Somebody's
after probably 10 or 15 minutes of you guys sitting there alone, this
Too many cookies.
Seriously?
this portly man who's probably as tall as he is wide walks into the room, and he kind of looks around at all of you, and you can tell he's kind of taking stock of each of you as he kind of goes and shakes everyone's hand.
Yeah, I stand, shake his hand, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome to my home. Thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
I'm glad the Bureau is taking this as seriously as they ought to be. My son is missing, and this is very important, and I'm glad that the United States Bureau of Investigation has sent their best men, and he kind of looks at the kid, to investigate. Can I offer any of you cognac or cigar or anything of that nature?
You got whiskey on that shelf?
I do, yes, absolutely. Let me get you a drink. And he goes over and fixes you a drink. Anyone else?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, that's fine.
All right. So what are we doing? How are we going to find my son?
Well, the first thing is, is there anywhere you would think he might have wandered off to? Places that he frequents, new people in his life, maybe a woman, anything like that.
A woman. Yeah, that'd be nice. No. I mean, he's always hanging out with those lousy vagrants. He gives them money. He gives them food. He even hired one of them to come in and sweep out and clean our basement out. Like, he let them in my home. And I'm sure my son got himself noticed by one of them, cutthroat hooligan types, and God knows what they're doing with him now.
Well,
The damn sheriff won't do anything about it.
That he won't. All right.
All right. Well, so far you haven't said anything we didn't know. Is there anybody in town that might want to hurt your son, or you got any enemies or anything like that, Mr. Graham?
Or do you?
That's what I asked you.
Sirs, I own most of this town. I have.
So your answer is just about everyone.
So yes, then is.
I have made some shrewd business decisions that have not made everyone in town happy.
Anyone
recent?
I'm not sure. I really don't want to speak ill of anyone and point you guys in the wrong direction and waste your time.
Listen, any amount of information you can pass our way would add to our investigation. I'm sure that a detail that may seem unimportant to you might be very relevant to us. So, if you could think real hard. Anybody
Not to mention,
upset? No, go ahead.
Yeah. Not to mention, we are here for the next 3 days. We have nothing but time to waste. We like to be thorough.
Well, recently, why don't one of you make a persuasion roll?
Who's talking most? Probably Nightson.
Yeah, this is gonna go real well. I'm realizing now that I'm actually playing the character that I not allocated my resources appropriately.
Well, that's what level ups are for.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is a long way from vixing.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Persuasion is tied to spirit, so
Yep. I got a D4 in that.
wild die! Yay!
Yay,
Go Wild Die.
Wild Die for the win. So
Holy moly!
that is an 8, and in Savage Worlds, a 4 is a success. So that means that he rolled his d6, it blew up, and so that's how he got an 8 on his
Killed
d6.
it.
So you got not only did you succeed, you also got a raise. And so he kind of takes a deep breath, and he opens a drawer in his desk, and he slides over some paperwork to you. And it's paperwork about the sale of a building downtown that he recently purchased. And he tells you, I may have recently evicted the town doctor.
You evicted the doctor?
Seems not a good idea.
He couldn't pay his rent, and he was treating a lot of those hobos for free, and it's not my fault that he couldn't pay.
All right. So what you're saying is you're just an asshole, and
Excuse
we shouldn't
me,
really
sir?
worry about anything else. So I think I've heard enough. We've got what we need for our investigation. I'll see you later. And Gabriel turns to leave.
That is very unprofessional, and I will be writing a letter to the Bureau informing them of your behavior, sir.
You have a good time with that. He says as he leaves the room.
Make sure you address it to Turbine.
Strongly worded letter to Turbine.
So he looks at you guys, and he goes, well, your colleague is quite rude. What I was going to tell you was that I have put a $1,000 reward up for the safe return of my son, hoping that whoever took him would give him back to me if there was a nice chunk of change in it for him, and no one has come forward to bring back my son.
Mr. Eugene, look, we're here to help, and I'm not sure if you've quite grasped that that idea yet, and it is as rude as you may claim my fellow colleague may have been. I think you're missing a grave point, and that is that a lot of times we get what we give and the way we treat people, and again, we're here to help you. And we would love nothing more than to be able to find your son, Andrew, right?
Who seems like a very upstanding young man.
Adrian, this is why we keep notepads.
Yeah. Well, I intentionally did. Damn it! Now I don't remember where I was going with that. Basically,
You're
I said
a
my
dick.
piece.
And your son's not a dick. So we're going to help
I said
you.
my piece. You know what I'm saying?
Sir, are you trying to tell me I will get farther with honey than I will vinegar?
I'm trying to say that your throwing money at problems is as reliable as another analogy that's really stupid.
I don't
You might
expect.
know.
I don't expect a man of the cloth who has given his whole life up to serve others to understand what it means to be a businessman and the kind of pressure and stresses that we have to deal with.
Sure, I understand that. You make a good point. And while you're making that point, all I see is the foolishness in the words and everything else that comes out of your mouth. I understand now why my colleague became so frustrated with you. It is because you miss out on all those things that are precious to us, and spend all of your efforts in the material. You understand what I'm saying? So
Am I not working to try to get my son back, my only son, the heir to my fortune, the only man in this world that can compare to my greatness? Am I not trying to get my son back?
Well, it could be easily argued that the reason that he's missing is because of your own actions.
He's missing because of his own foolishness.
Well, where there are fingers pointed, there are oftentimes 4 of them pointed right back at you. So,
look, do you gentlemen have everything you need to find my son?
I believe
more
we
than
do.
enough.
We have enough to go on. If we have any more questions, we'll be back.
You know where to find me. And he kind of calls for his housekeeper to come let you guys back out again. And she's comes over and she goes, would you like some cookies for the road, sweetheart?
Yes, please.
Okay, and so she has like a little bag and she put 4 or 5 cookies in there and an apple.
What was her name?
Perfect.
Her name is Aunt Mimi.
Aunt Mimi.
Aunt
Yep.
Mimi totally did it.
Yep. No, that's not. I didn't say yep. I meant never mind.
The jam admitted it,
Yep, done. Canon.
Aunt Mimi.
and we arrest her. End scene.
And scene. No, but she hands you a little paper bag and it's got a couple of cookies and an apple in there, and she kind of pats you on the head and makes sure the bag gets in your hand, and it's like, well, you take care and you make sure you boys take care of him.
Thanks, doll.
She kind of lectures you as you go out the door.
Thanks, doll.
Doll.
All right. Well, we're so good at making friends.
Yeah. You're not pissing
Well,
anyone off.
everyone's a worthless idiot.
If they weren't,
I think
they
we
would have
should
found
probably-
them themselves.
I think we should. My vote is that next we should go speak to the bakery. Find where their little tent city is, and let's see if
Let's go hang out there.
seen anything. But I am open to suggestions.
So, Gabriel, you said you stormed out first. So, where
Yeah.
did you head when you stormed outside?
So I'm imagining the wrought iron fence with the big white house behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably leaning up against the fence, getting some chewing tobacco or something and looking around the fence. Watching people go by, see if he can notice anything.
Actually, on the way out, just keeping an eye out around the grounds just to see if there's anything odd.
Okay, you want to make a notice roll?
Yeah.
Or do you want to search deeper and make an investigation roll?
Investigation.
I could
check.
Okay, you
I
can
could
notice check too.
I could search deeper.
Well, is investigation a skill?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh,
Really?
Wait, no,
God damn.
I
Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that then.
I did.
don't even have it. I thought I had that. Never mind.
You're a priest. We're both agents and cops and stuff.
Yeah.
So I gotta.
Whatever. Tell me how worthless I am.
No. Okay, I got a 7 notice. So Gabriel's looking around the grounds.
I'm sorry. Investigation is now called research.
Oh yeah,
In the
changed
new
the
edition.
name to research.
Okay. So then I have research. Then
Yes.
I'm set on that then.
How
I was
much?
gonna say the
what is your
investigation. Oh, good.
what is your research?
D8.
Oh, your research usually.
Yeah. Well, I also have the investigator edge. So.
Yeah.
So as Gabriel, as you were standing outside, because you were outside first, you were kind of looking around, and you do kind of notice that the like groundskeeper guy keeps kind of side eyeing you, and being kind of fishy.
I'm gonna go over and say hi.
All right.
Howdy. I'll tip my hat. Howdy. Sorry to bother you, but we're doing a little. We're searching for the young man of the house, Adrian. He seems to have gone missing, and you seem to be paying me a lot of mind. You haven't seen anything, has you?
No, I've seen nothing. I don't know anything. And he's like raking the grass.
Yeah.
And he's like backing up, raking away from you.
Yeah, I mean, about that. Groundskeepers see more than they let on a lot of times.
Nope.
I mean,
nope. We don't see anything. We see grass. Like, we do our job. We keep our job, and we see nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing about it is I grew up around farms, right? And the hands, they always sort of fade into the background. You don't tend to notice them too much, and they sort of stick to themselves. The quiet ones, they last the longest, I noticed. You see something weird, you don't say anything because, it's hard to find work. But I ain't on your boss's side, so I ain't going to tell him if you saw something you shouldn't have.
No, I didn't see nothing. You want to make a persuasion roll?
Yeah. So I'll lay on the, it sounds like Adrian's a real nice kid. And, double ones. And, you're really giving me a lot of guff here, son. And I... So critical fail.
Yeah, he definitely...
Why don't you just talk already?
Yeah, he definitely shuts down on you and
start roughing him up a bit.
I don't think he takes it that far, but he definitely starts insulting him and, like, pulls out and takes a drink from his flask and puts it back. And he's like, listen, I don't understand why you won't just tell me what you saw. Obviously, you saw something. It's... you don't like the boy or something?
I saw nothing. I don't know who you're talking about. What boy? Who? What? And then he turns around and he goes.
Well, I was out there first.
Yeah, he walks off. He doesn't stay near you guys. So you guys come out of the house.
None of us saw that.
Well, you guys come out of, because he came out first. You guys come out of the house as you see the groundskeeper kind of walking away from Gabriel, and kind of doing the like, I'm totally raking, and like moving away as fast as humanly possible as you guys come outside.
Gabriel comes over.
Damn it, Gabriel!
He comes over and he spits his chewing tobacco into the grass and he says, "Damn it, I swear that groundskeeper saw something, but he ain't talking."
So, Agent Williams, you come out and you see this scene, and so you start looking around, trying to, see if there's more to see on the grounds than what's on the surface level, right? You're doing some deeper investigation of the general grounds area, and you do notice that kind of up against the house, there's like lattice work. And some of the rungs are broken that kind of lead up to maybe like a second floor window.
Okay, I'm going to kind of wander over there subtly and just take a look at them. Do they look like recent breaks? Or are these like long time weathered?
So no, they're not long time weathered. They look like they're recent breaks. It looks like probably 2 or 3 of them kind of in a straight line. So like maybe a footing slipped kind of thing, and then as you kind of look around at the ground right underneath where they are, the ground is like trampled, like the flowers and things that should be in this flower bed are disturbed.
Like well, never mind, just say mine.
I mean, you're outside. You can follow them over if you want to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering, is it something like a path that's been, does it look like it's a path that's been used a lot, or does it look like it's a path that's just recently, you know what I'm saying? The difference between someone that's been continuously path. Using this? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't.
Or is this fresh?
It looks, the trampled looks new. The area around it looks like there's probably quite a bit of traffic right here.
Okay.
Like often, but the trampled flowers and the broken lattice work like that doesn't look in line with the surrounding area.
Right. Okay.
And any footprints left in the dirt?
So it's really, really dry, but because the family has money, they can afford to kind of water their gardens and things. And so as you kind of like get down, we can hear that, Endo.
Mute your shit.
Tyler, you gotta mute.
Endo, we can hear your voicemail.
Sorry,
It's okay.
I forgot to mute his work call.
I was worried it was a work call. I'm like, oh my god, it's coming out on the cameras. Yeah, as you kind of like you get down a little closer and you start looking about, you can see that there are a few like footprints in the soft dirt here.
Mostly, I'm just trying to see, and obviously, it's been a couple days and whatnot. But are all the footprints roughly the same, or are we looking at multiples, like a different person?
Yeah, no, they do. They all look similarly the same footprint.
And which direction?
So kind of looking at it, it looks kind of like different directional.
Okay, so this is him leaving of his own volition, coming back multiple times.
This may be a silly question, but what shape is the footprint? Like, does it look like a cheap boot that a homeless person might be wearing, or does it look like a nicer shoe?
Cloven hoof. No, make a research roll to see if you can determine what kind of shoe made this mark.
Research.
Oh, so that's a 2.
That is a negative.
It's definitely a cloven hoof.
You could spend a Benny to re-roll that if you'd like, because you didn't get double ones, and you have 4 bennies.
Yeah, I'll re-roll.
Okay. Ooh, double ones.
Oh yeah, can't
Wow.
So as he goes to search, he falls face first into.
Kurt, I think your mic might be muted right now.
Oh, you're right. It is. I was just saying you can't. In the new one, it explicitly says you can't re-roll double ones.
Yeah, not just a house roll, but an actual roll.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get down there and you start to check out what's going on, and the groundskeeper comes over, and he's like, "Can I help you? What are you doing? Well, look what you did to these flowers. Now I'm gonna have to replant this entire flower bed. Thanks. What the hell are you doing over here?"
Sir, I would be more than willing to help you replant this flower bed. Could I?
No, you would not. We're a little busy.
No, I have time. Listen, do you know anything about this broken lattice work that seems to lead right up to that?
And he kind of looks up and he's like, "You broke the lattice too? Now I'm going to have to replace this entire section of the lattice work. What the hell is wrong with you people?"
That window up there, that's Adrian's, right?
What? That window? And he points at the
Yes.
window you're referencing. Yeah, I guess. He's like trying to orient himself to like where in the house it is. He's like, yeah, I guess that would be Adrian's room.
Thank you.
Could you guys get the hell off the garden, please?
Jeez.
We're
Sure.
not on the garden.
Standing
We're
in the
garden
garden.
adjacent.
Yeah, we're garden adjacent.
Well, I mean,
I'm garden adjacent. Blind Betty over here.
yeah, he's stomping around in the garden.
Am I on the garden?
Well, it's
Sorry.
like, okay, I need to know what kind, so I'm going to compare them to my own. Stamp.
I'm going to put my shoe in that hole. Okay, cool. Clues.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's about the extent we're getting out of here for now.
It is getting late into the evening. The sun is starting to go down. It was late afternoon when you guys kind of came into town, and it's starting to get later into the sunset time. Do you guys want to keep working on the investigation? Do you want to go to the hotel and check in for the night? What do you guys want to do from here?
So I think the only place that's going to be entirely viable at this point is probably going to be
the carnival.
Bar. Or the carnival would probably be decent at this time of night too.
The carnival would probably be okay, actually.
Yeah.
But we really have nothing to go on that leads us to the carnival aside from meta.
Aside from saying there is a carnival.
And carnies are obviously the source of all of our problems. So that's probably where should we start.
There's no way Katie brought up a word carnival without her intending us to go to a carnival.
I mean, if
she knows way better than that.
I'm letting you guys know that obviously this Adrian guy is dizzy with a dame. He probably went after some mall, got himself. I'm just saying, he probably just got himself, a last kiss, and he's just rotting in a hole somewhere in a Chicago overcoat right now.
Yeah. I'm loving the 30s slang that you're I'm throwing in there. I'm really enjoying this.
We're gonna have some talk. we're gonna unravel some of those mysteries.
So obviously, our very next step has to be this carnival that we keep hearing so much about.
From absolutely no one that we've heard about one time.
Listen, Barney, I understand that it might be exciting. It might sound exciting to go to some, small town carnival. You've been doing this special agent thing for a little while. I'm sure you're getting to the point where you want to do something fun. But I really think that the bar is the best place for us to head at this time.
I feel like we have competing agendas here, sir.
I feel like we should go to the adult carnival.
Listen, we could split up if you.
We can always split up. I was going to suggest that. I was going to recommend me and the preacher go see the Vagrants, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take the carnival. You just point me in the right direction.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Blind kid.
Listen,
Let's do that.
as much as I would like to just point you in a direction and let you hand off, I'm pretty sure that that would be ill-advised.
The Bureau would have our butts.
I
Not to mention
honestly
your father.
still don't understand how you got this job.
Did you say that you had to check him out like a book?
Yeah.
Check the kid
when
out?
we return him, we get our money back.
There's a deposit?
Look,
there's a deposit.
Pastor Wilson I was left in his care while my daddy went out on a mission. So that's why I'm here right now. And I'm here to tell
you're the pastor's problem. Fair enough.
Here to tell you that there's a carnival and we've only got 2 days to investigate it.
3
days to invest. Is it daytime right now?
I mean, I guess one day has sort of gone.
I'll tell you what.
The trains are 4 days apart.
I can take the kid.
Well, we shouldn't split 3 ways. I would not put our GM through that.
Right.
Thank you.
So I will go with you guys to the carnival.
Okay.
And then
Finally.
the cops are going to the bar?
Yeah,
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I'm happy with this situation.
All right. Let's head to the carnival. So you guys head back down the street. As you kind of look across trying to figure out where the hell the carnival is, off in the distance you see the kind of the tops of the carnival rides and that kind of stuff. Like the big Ferris wheel, you can see it like peeking over the edge of some buildings. So you guys start heading down the street that way. The bar is in the opposite direction, so you guys split at the corner. And as you guys make your way down the street towards the carnival, you start to see like signs plastered on storefronts and such that say the Yang Twins Carnival. And it's got a, like, one has like a picture of like God, what is it called?
Trapeze?
Trapeze artist. Thank you, man. You're like right there in my head. Of like a girl on a trapeze. Another has like a big picture of an elephant on it. And so it's got like different things that like are associated with the carnival, like different acts and things that they have in their big tent.
Did you say the Yin Yang Twins Carnival?
The Yang Twins Carnival.
Oh,
There's
just
no
Yang?
No Ying, just Yang.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
It was
Yang.
Out of balance.
it was a real circus carnival that traveled around in the 30s.
Nice.
That's probably where
She'd
they-
only know that if she planned for us to have come to the circuit.
No,
carnival.
if you put in a carnival, you have to like do your research and find a real carnival.
You could have
Anyway.
literally called it anything,
We're
and no
supposed
one's
to be
going to
here.
fact check you.
Yeah, we're gonna find some shit. You guys are gonna get drunk. Is what's gonna happen.
Okay, so you guys approach the carnival. It's kind of dusk, so there are some like string lights set up around the carnival as you kind of approach.
It's just now starting to get popping.
Hey, Gigett, can I retro something?
Sure.
Could I have asked the father for a photo of the kid
Yes.
to show around?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would-
absolutely. Yeah, he would definitely give you a photograph of Adrian. Okay, so you guys are at the carnival. You see,
Sweet. Where do you-
like the barker who's out front at the like towards the ticket booth. It's like saying cool shit about the carnival and what the different acts are, and saying in 15 minutes see the whatever show in the big tent, and
Yeah.
go let the fat lady guess your weight, and all this stuff. So he's like doing the big carnival barking
Let the
thing.
fat lady guess your weight.
Yeah, sure.
Since
She seems oddly qualified.
She's qualified.
Since the crier would see everyone coming, how busy is the circus? Like, how many people are around? Like, is it pretty active?
So for how kind of dead the town seems.
Mhm.
This is the most amount of people you've seen kind of gathered in one area, and there's moms with their kids and dads, and there's probably 50 or so people milling around this carnival, which is quite a few people
Yeah.
for how boarded up the town seems.
Okay. I want to kind of just canvas. I'm going to tell Hondor that I'm going to go ahead and canvas a little bit and see if anyone recognizes the kid. And I'm going to start with the crier, since they would have to see everyone walking into the circus and see if they recognize the kid in the photo.
Okay.
So as you walk up to the barker, he's this. He looks like a ringmaster, right? Like he's got the big top hat on with the like very flashy jacket on, and he's got a horn, that the thing that he's talking into to project his voice louder, and
Yep.
he's like, "Step right up, yes, gentlemen. What can I do for you? Please come inside."
Hi
It's
there.
only 25 cents.
Hi there, thank you. We are actually looking for someone, and we heard he might have come and seen your amazing carnival here. Have you by chance seen this kid recently?
Our amazing carnival! Like in between talking to you, he like yells things like. So as you guys are talking, between every couple of sentences, he yells something into his horn and then goes back to talking to you, whatever you're saying. So he kind of leans in and he looks at the picture and he goes, maybe. I mean, we see a lot of people. I can't for sure say whether or not I saw that kid.
At the amazing carnival.
It's amazing Yang Twins Carnival.
Does he look familiar though?
Uh,
At all?
let me see. And so he like steps down off of the box that he was standing on, and he like takes the picture, and he's like, yeah. I think I've seen his face before, and he hands the picture back to you.
Okay.
And get some cotton candy at the concession stand.
What's it called if you're like telling somebody that maybe they should ask if if they seen them, did they also may have seen them with someone else? Is there a term for that?
Like,
I think you literally just said it.
Were they with anyone else?
yeah, like, did you see him with anybody else? I don't think there's
Yeah,
a
but
term
I'm
for
not
that.
even there, so how do
I mean,
relate
you're
that to
you're there. He just told you what he was going to do before he did it.
Yeah.
But you're standing with him.
Oh, okay.
You and the kid are
I
there.
didn't want. Yeah, okay. Well, then
Well,
I'll
the kid's
ask him.
gone.
Shit!
Did you take off into the carnival?
Well, obviously,
Where'd Barney go?
anyone who would abduct me is obviously a criminal. We need to remove that element from the equation.
Oh no, I'm a child with no parent. What am I
I'm
gonna
fine.
do?
I've got a bag of cookies.
Cookies, yep. So, yeah, I guess I would just be like, ask. You know, go.
I don't. Honestly,
Maybe a pretty young lady or something.
I don't. I think I remember seeing him with somebody, but I don't think it was a woman. I mean, it's like I said, we see a lot of people through here. It's kind of vague. I think I remember seeing that guy, and he was definite. Like I remember him being with somebody else, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you know someone that might be less focused on doing what you're doing, and someone who might be more advantageous who comes in and out of here?
You could ask any of the acts. Like, you could go in. I mean, I won't charge you guys if you want to go in and ask any of the acts. I mean, don't bug them too much because they got jobs to do. But like, I mean,
Absolutely.
anybody could have talked to that kid and might remember something more about him. But I mean, I see everybody that comes in here, so I don't know. I don't really remember him.
Okay. And what was your name?
Oh, my name is Big Tim. Welcome to the Yang Twins Carnival.
Okay.
And he like gets back up on his box and starts doing the barking thing again.
Thanks.
And then he kind of
Thanks
turns
for,
around and he goes, "You know what? Everyone goes and sees the fortune teller.
Ooh, perfect.
When you get a chance, definitely go ask her.
Yeah, I love fortune tellers.
Make sure you
God
tell her
bless.
Big Tim sent you. Otherwise, she'll, play up the act. So make sure you tell her Big Tim sent you."
I'm gonna
Thanks, Big Tim.
I'm gonna whisper in Tim's ear. Why do they call you Big Tim?
He kind of
Oh,
he
jeez.
kind of giggles and he'll like give you a wink and then go back to barking. All right, let's cut over. So you guys are headed into the carnival. Let's cut over to the guys at the bar. So you guys head into the bar. It is definitely a very hole in the wall Western bar. You go in the front doors. They're doors. I mean, it's the 30s. It's not like a saloon. It's a bar. But you go inside. Everything is made of wood. There's a thick layer of dirt and like peanuts on the ground. It's dirty. It's dingy. The light's really low in here. The barmaid is kind of like walking around and like cleaning up after everybody and looks really like frazzled and like sit anywhere, I'll bring you a menu, and kind of goes is clearing tables and moving around the place.
Did you need a menu?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
So, is first off,
Margarita.
So I head up to the barkeep.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's behind the bar.
So it's just the girl. She's the only one
Oh,
running
okay.
around in here. She's by herself working. Hold on.
Is this place reasonably filled, or like how many?
So there's about 6 people in here. There's like 2 people, like a couple sitting over in a booth on one side. There's 2 people at the bar, on like opposite ends of the bar, obviously not here together, that are just drinking their drink and not talking to anybody. And then there's 2 people over playing darts over by the jukebox.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes his hat off and sort of dusts it off and sets it on the bar. Looks over at you. What do you think of this whole thing so far?
Honestly, kid probably ran.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I mean,
He associates with those who live on the road. If he wants to be out, he probably hopped a train and took off.
that's what I'm thinking. His dad is a real piece of work, and I mean, with the kid's got a head for adventure or something like that, and he's got these people coming through town telling him all the good times on the road. I can't imagine he'd stick around if he had a chance.
Yeah, chance any of them heard him is foolish. He's their meal ticket.
Yeah, but if he bails, there goes the money. Unless he ran off with a bunch of money.
Yeah, I figure we head there in the morning and see if anyone knew him over there.
That's a good plan.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming into Bart's. What can I get you gentlemen today?
Thanks.
She kind of like blusters in with and sets menus down in front of you.
Thanks. Couple whiskeys.
Yeah.
Want anything to eat?
And I
No?
think we're good.
All right. On the rocks or straight up?
Straight up.
Rocks.
All right, 1 each.
It's hot day.
Turns around, gets nice, starts making your drinks.
Now, ma'am, do you happen to know anything about one Adrian Graham? Yes.
Yes. I mean, Adrian's kind of a regular here.
Do you know where was he here then 3 nights ago?
Ooh, 3 nights ago. Let's see here. Yeah, he came in. He came in 3 nights ago.
Did he seem preoccupied, or was he with someone else?
No, he was alone. He came in, ordered his regular. Real weird, didn't eat much. He kind of picked at it, which is weird for Adrian, and then he got up and left pretty quick. He didn't spend much time in here.
About what time?
Oh, well, it was right after the store closed, so it must have been right around 7 o'clock.
All right. Did he look panicked or bothered?
Who are you again? What do you, you're asking a lot of questions about
Badge.
Adrian. Did you, stick it on the
Yeah, just
the bar?
drop it on the table.
So she comes
My name
over.
is Agent
sets
Williams.
it
I'm
down.
with the United States Bureau of Intelligence or
So
investigation or whatever.
She kind of,
Oh.
she shook or whatever. So she kind of picks up your badge and she kind of turns it around in her hands and kind of flips it over. And she's like, with the Bureau, huh?
Yeah, we're here from Washington investigating the disappearance.
Well, aren't we a lucky little town to have the Bureau of Investigation worrying about one of our own?
Well,
Yes.
he does have a noisy wheel.
Ah, that he does. Have you guys been over to see Harry?
Yes, we. Well, wait.
Harry was sheriff.
Sheriff
yeah,
Harry.
yeah. We
Again, notepad.
we spoke to Harry. He's an interesting fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
We're
I
going to
don't
stop
know
by the
if-
general store in the morning.
I don't know if he's necessarily solved any crimes in his time here as sheriff. But, you know, he keeps the riffraff from destroying the place, so it's good enough. So you said you had some questions about Adrian?
Yeah. Did he give you any indication he may have been taken off or of his own volition?
I don't think Adrian would have left without saying something. It's just not. He's not that kind.
Were you
Fair
familiar?
I'm sorry. What?
Were you familiar with Adrian? You sound like you knew him pretty well. About how well did you know him?
Well, I mean, we went to high school together. I've known him for a very long time.
All right. And you have reason to believe he would have definitely said goodbye to you before heading off.
Well, don't make it sound like that. I mean, it's nothing improper. We've just, we've known each other a long time. And I feel like if he was going to leave town, he would have said something.
Okay, so anybody else he might have said something to before leaving town?
He definitely would have said something to Aunt Mimi before he left town.
All right, well, we did speak to Aunt Mimi, and she didn't seem to think anything, or he didn't say nothing to her that she told us.
So
if anyone knew anything, Aunt Mimi would know where he went if he told her. She doesn't just wait for him to tell her things. She goes through his pockets when she does the wash to make sure she keeps up with what he's doing. And she calls over here if he's been here too long. I mean, she keeps up with him. So if he was going somewhere, she would have known about it before he told her.
So we were at the house, and we noticed evidence of him sneaking out possibly at night. Any idea where he'd be going?
Yeah, that sounds like Adrian. He used to sneak out that window all the time when we were in school. His daddy just doesn't like it when he does anything improper. Hanging out with the railmen, hanging out too much here. I mean, sneaking out that definitely sounds like my Adrian.
But no idea where he'd be after hours.
I mean, that's why I thought it was so strange that he ate so quick and left. He normally spends his evenings here talking to me while I close up the bar, and then he walks me home. And he seemed in a real big hurry that night.
All right.
He didn't say nothing?
No. I mean, I didn't even really notice he had left. I thought maybe he'd gotten up to go to the bathroom or something. Thought he was coming back. It was probably an hour until I realized his food was sitting there cold and he wasn't coming back to it.
You pay his tab?
Well, no. I mean, I give him dinner on the house, and
Okay.
he comes and fixes things around the house at my house, and real neighborly.
Fair enough. Flip page in my notebook. So, what about this Manny character?
Manny West?
Yes.
Ah, yeah, Manny's a regular here, that's for sure.
We have word that he's been missing for better part of a week.
Yeah, he hasn't been in here in quite a few days. Sometimes he'll go on a bender and he'll wander off somewhere and forget where he's supposed to be, and then he shows up again. It's not,
Many places to wander in Dodge?
No, not really. I mean, it used to be when there was a lot of farms and stuff out there, but not, he'd wake up in somebody's barn or snuggled up to somebody's sow or something and get run off by a farmer, and then he'd come back into town. But now that most of the farms around here are closed down, there really isn't a lot of places Manny could have gone.
All right. The last time you saw him, was he out of sorts? Anything odd?
He was talking about an opportunity. He said something big was coming, and he was gonna change everything. But
Did he give you any indication what that might have been? Who it might have been? Where?
I mean, have you ever talked to a drunk? They always have big ideas.
Yeah, but they also tell lots of stories.
That is true. The night that Manny was in here talking, it was real busy, and I didn't have a lot of time to sit and chat with him.
Fair enough.
All right. Do you know who did? I mean, this is a small town.
Who did have time to talk to him?
Yeah, who
Well, I mean, those guys over there are his drinking buddies, and she kind of points to the two guys on the other ends of the bar.
Can I get another whiskey, and I'll go and check in with the fellas.
Sounds good. I'll get you that whiskey. All right, so I think we are at a good place here for us to stop for tonight, and we can pick up at our next episode, which is 2 weeks from now. We're going to be playing every other Tuesday, and so I think this is a good place where both groups are kind of poised on their next step of the investigation, and so I think I'll take some really good notes to make sure we pick up where we left off, and we'll pick up here next time. Does it sound good to you guys?
Darn tootin'!
All right, great. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 1 of S.I.P, of Agents of S.I.P. Welcome to S.I.P. I think that's what we're calling this episode.
Yeah, this episode is Welcome to S.I.P.
Welcome to S.I.P. Like I said, we will be back in 2 weeks. Every other Tuesday, we'll have an episode. And definitely head over to pixelscandal.com so you can see all of our other actual plays and our podcast and all of that other stuff. And we also do recaps after the episode that we put up on our Patreon. So if you go and back us on Patreon, you can see kind of our debrief of the episode and see other cool stuff that we make. I think that's everything, unless Kurt can think of something I should have said.
Tune in next week for Agents of S.I.P.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
Farewell.
Bye.
See you guys.